G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to part 2 of the Toyota LMP by SRC. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at how I've built it, we'll do a tear down, and then we'll take it for a hot lap around my track. So stick around, and let's do part 2 of the Toyota LMP1. So welcome back to part 2 of SRC's Toyota LMP1, and yes, I'm back in the shed. The rain has stopped for now, so hopefully I can get through this video without any rain hitting the shed roof. I have built the car, so we're going to zoom in, we'll do a proper teardown. I'm going to chat about how I found the build. I'm not normally a kit builder, so this was an experience for me. I have done a shakedown, so I will talk about the differences I've found from this car being factory fresh on my track. But let's zoom in, let's do a teardown together, and then we'll take it for a spin around my track. Alrighty, so let's dive right into it because there's a little bit of information to talk about, and straight away I'll quickly tell you that I did not put the stickers on the car, so I still have a full decal sheet, but when you receive yours, of course, if you want to, you can put your own decals on, and I'd love to see some pictures of this finished. So mine is still white, but of course you can put your stickers on when you receive it. Now, before we talk about the car, I want to have a quick chat about the instructions, because I found when I was building it, there is 2 cars that are being built side by side in this, the Chrono and the original series. Now, I did do a video not long ago about the difference between the two, and I'll give you a quick rundown. The original is your model light car, so more detail is added to the car, including the driver, some engine compartment stuff, just some more add-on detail parts. The Chrono series is your watered down version when it comes to detail. The speed, the performance is there, but you just don't have as many detailed parts to put on the car. So this is the Chrono series, and I'll show you why in a second. And also in my part 1, I may mention that there was an angle, an angle winder and an inline. My engine pod that I've got is only an angle winder. So it will come, and I don't know if SRC could probably answer this, but at the moment, I believe they're angle winders, but there will be an inline version, I'm guessing, from the instructions. But again, my engine mount was the angle winder build. So these are happening side by side, just to get rid of any confusion. And I'll quickly show you, figure up here, as you can see where my finger is, there's your 2 different figure builds. So you've got a half driver and you've got a helmet and a head. So the Chrono series is the helmet and the head, and we'll get into that in a tick. So I just wanted to explain the instructions, because when you do start building yours, I don't want you to be confused thinking you're missing some pieces, and you definitely haven't. Now let's have a look at the car itself. And to be honest, it was a fun build. It didn't take too long at all. I'm not a kit builder, and this was very, very easy for me to do. So we'll take the shell off and we'll have a chat about what I've done prior to doing part 2. Now, some basic stuff, the plastic headlights clip in. Behind that is some black inserts, which we'll have a quick look, and we'll go through it together. Some black inserts, which is your headlights. Yes, you can paint them if you want. There is no active lights on this model. It is just for show. These little diffuser flicks on left and right literally plug in. That was very simple. Then we've got the mirrors, which plug into place, and I'll flip it upside down. You'll see there's little tabs that this all connects into, and I've just done a dab of glue using the Revel glue to stick these plastic parts in place. The windscreen wiper and holder, that had to be done by myself, which was very easy. On top of the car itself, that's where the aerials will go. Now, there's no aerials within this model. I'm guessing the original series will have the aerials. Very easy, drops in with a bit of glue. I think that's the fuel cap filler. Again, that from underneath just popped in and glued into place. All this was very, very simple. The twin exhausts at the rear, which are stamped left and right, again popped in and just glued with the same glue. Now, what was already completed when I started the build was the rear spoiler was already attached to the car, and also this front mounted section of the vehicle which holds the headlights. That was already screwed together when I received it. And I'll go through the car as we talk on how I received it. So I'm guessing you will receive it the same way. The rest I've done myself. Now, in regards to the Chrono and the original, as I did say, one has a half model and the other one has a helmet and head. This is the helmet and head version. Simply fixed the holes a little bit better. I made it a little bit bigger and then plugged them into these little plugs and then glued down. And if we can look in ever so slightly, I don't know if we're going to get in there, there is literally a helmet. You can see a cream face. and a cream face and a white helmet, and I've just glued that into place. That is all I had to do when it comes to building this thing. That is probably the easiest kit build I've done. Effective, but again, this is the Chrono series. Now let's have a chat about the chassis and the build itself on the chassis. Now I'll remove the base. Now, again, angle winder setup, very simple to do. It dropped into place and then you start screwing in what's needed to hold this into place. Now, what was built prior, the pinion was already on the motor, I believe, and that was it, I think, and sorry, the guide was already screwed down in place when I received it. The rest is very, very simple, and the instructions will tell you. So the wheel hubs I've put onto the axles. The axles I've fed through with the 2 bearings that sit in the back rear axle section. There's a rear spring section at the rear here, as you can see. Again, screwed up from underneath with a T-piece that dropped down, and that is adjustable. And as we talk through this car is going to be all about setup. So don't expect me to do a world-breaking lap, because this is a car that needs to be set up, and it's going to take some time to tune, which I love about SRC. Yes, one car isn't the same as the next, which I love that. So yes, you will need to tune this. Now again, there's suspension at the rear. I've tightened them almost right down so there's no movement in this engine pod. I'll flip it upside down. As you can see, it's adjustable by these screws. The tighter you go, the more compressed the spring will be. Now I've set that up for mine so there's no bounce on my track being plastic. I find some tyres don't like it because it's cold in here. Now I've ran the wires, they're already connected to the motor. I've ran the wires, plugged them into the braid itself, which was very easy, and then it's already in place, ready to go. Now one trick I have done there, for Carrera track only, I don't know about your track at home, I've pulled the braid through a little bit further, just so there's not as much braid hanging out, because I've found with most cars like this, it pushes the guide out if you've got too much overhang of braid. So what I mean is, I've fed more braid through to the car and folded it over, so I've got less braid here. So just a little bit of a turnover and she's ready to go. And I found that worked for me. Now, the front axles, they're just free spinning tires. SRC has released a video of how to glue them onto the axle, because yes, they will come off. They just sit on there, so you'll need to glue dab them. You can try the Revel glue, but I recommend something a little bit stronger to hold them onto the axle. But again, very simple. What else do I have to do? This section that holds the engine pod down, so this whole engine pod here is like a big T-piece. Again, two screws underneath, two little black screws held this section which holds down the engine pod so it doesn't pop up and down. Very, very simple. I was extremely impressed how simple it was. Now, there is another bit of suspension work, which is at the rear here. And again, that's adjusted by screwing in underneath. And again, this is all very simple. The instruction tells you everything. Now, to tighten and to fix your hubs onto the axles, there's some grub screws behind these tires, which you simply turn. Now, when you're lining this axle up, make sure you maybe put one on first to the tip of the edge, and then you can work out your distances of your axle itself. If you don't have a setup table, you're going to be doing it by eye. Now, meshing the pinion and the crown wasn't too hard because it is an angle winder. So you just have to get that to sit how you prefer. Not too much slack, but as much slack as you want. Very simple. Now, there's a little bit of finishing work off here, a bit of a rear grille with looks like what to be a tow hook, and that's simply just glued into the bottom. Such a simple car to build. Again, if you are worried about buying one of these because you've got to build it, don't stress, because it was very easy, and I'm not the greatest slot car builder, but there is a lot of adjustment in this. Now, another thing I would recommend is truing and gluing down your tires. Now, these won't be. Again, on the Hotlap, you're going to see I'm going to struggle because this is a magless slot car. And I'll say that again, this is magless. SRC don't normally use mags. They use a weighted system, which this does not have. So this is a magless car, so it's going to take some time for you to get this right around your track. Now, I've done some test runs. This is super quick. On the straights, it is beautiful. Through the corners, very tricky. I've got to set up the suspension. I've got to play with some weight if needed. So factory fresh, it's going to be a challenge, but let's see how I go with that. I had some questions about, is it digital ready? Well, there's a lot of space in here that you can put your Scalatrix or your Carrera chip or whatever you're running. That I'd say that is up to you, but is it DP ready? Is it Carrera digital reading, no. You would have to drill a hole for the sensors. That will be up to you to sort out on your end, but of course it can be done. These aren't the hardest things to work with. So there it is, beautiful looking chassis, very wide. Now, I am running Carrera, which has got a wide slot and a deep slot. The guide itself will be a challenge for me, as it's not a deep guide. It is in length, it's good, but in depth, it's not. So it would be very hard for me to get this thing going right without setup. But as always, it's going to be factory fresh onto the track, but I can't wait to keep tuning this thing. So very easy build. If you're stressing about building one of these, please don't. It was literally the easiest thing I've done, and I'm not the greatest. Now, I did not put the decals on it, so if you do put decals on it, I'd love to see some photos. But let's get this on the track. If I've missed any questions, please hit the comments and I'll try and answer them, but let's see what I can get around my track with the Toyota LMP1. So how did SRC's Toyota LMP1 perform around my track? Well, I posted a lap time of 12:66, which I'm honestly blown away because this car has no magnets whatsoever and no weights. And for someone like me who normally races or drives cars with magnets in them, getting a time like that, I'm seriously blown away. Now, it did take some setup, and I'll talk you through what I did to achieve that. The only stuff I did to this car to make it perform like it did on my track was I played with the suspension screws to get the suspension right for my track. Every track's going to be different. And to get the engine mount moving how I liked it. Now, the screws that hold the chassis to the shell, I've left them pretty tight. But again, if you adjust those to make that roll, it'll perform different again. Put magnets in this thing or put weights in this, you could probably easily shave off 2 to 3 seconds. That's how much difference a magnet makes. Now, again, I had a blast driving it. It is challenging. If you are buying this, putting it on your track for the first time, there is a learning curve, and it did take me some laps to get a respectable time, which that's as fast as I could go. If I was used to magless cars or cars without magnets, I could probably get a quicker time, but that's not my expertise. So for me to get that, wow. Also, hats off to SRC. This is their first attempt at a car like this. They're normally doing old school rally cars, which this is a new area of expertise for them. So I'm truly excited how well they got it the first time round. And there is a Porsche coming out, I think at the end of the year or start of next year, which is going to be, let's call it round 2. So again, with a little bit of setup, truing the tyres, gluing the tyres, adding weight, this thing, I think the sky's the limit. But also, I love to see people post whatever they've done with this car on social media, lap times, because I think this has got a lot of play in it. So for me, well done SRC, truly excited. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy, thank you SRC for sending me the car. I'm not paid by SRC, this was a honest review from me to them. And yes, I'm excited for the future for that company, so support them. They're a really good company, they're trying different things, hat off to them. Really, really excited. But as always, be safe, take care, ciao.